Lord, Lord, the judgment warning Christianity cannot ignore. Do you know that one of the most serious warnings in the Bible was spoken not by an enemy of Christianity, but by Jesus himself? In Matthew chapter 7, verses 21 to 23, Jesus describes a scene that takes place on the day of judgment. People stand before him with confidence. They call him Lord. They believe they belong to God. They believe their place in heaven is secure. But Jesus says something unexpected. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. Only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. This statement is direct. It is not symbolic. It is not hidden in metaphor. Jesus does not say that belief alone is enough. He does not say that using his name guarantees salvation. He says obedience to the will of the Father is what matters. What makes this passage even more disturbing is who is being rejected. These are not unbelievers. They are not outsiders. They are religious people. They say they prophesied in his name. They say they cast out demons in his name. They say they performed miracles in his name. In other words, they were spiritually active, publicly religious, confident in their faith. And yet Jesus responds with words that leave no room for misunderstanding. I never knew you. Away from me, you workers of lawlessness. The word used here for lawlessness comes from the Greek term anomia. It does not simply mean committing sins. It means living without obedience to divine law, living without alignment to God's will. This passage has troubled serious Christian thinkers for centuries. The Russian Christian writer Leo Tolstoy argued that much of Christianity replaced obedience with belief and ritual. He believed Jesus' teachings were about moral transformation, not verbal faith. Early church thinkers such as Origen and Irenaeus also emphasized that salvation required obedience, humility, and ethical living, not just confession. The Bible itself repeats this message. In the Epistle of James, it says, "Faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead." Jesus also taught this through parables. The wise man hears the words and acts on them. The foolish man hears the words but does nothing. Even respected modern Christian scholars agree that Matthew 7 cannot be ignored. E.P. Sanders explained that early Christianity emphasized covenant obedience, not belief without responsibility. James D. Dunn stated that the New Testament never removed moral accountability from faith. N.T. Wright, one of today's most influential Christian theologians, has said that salvation in the Bible is about allegiance and faithfulness, not simply correct belief. So the question becomes clear. If belief alone is enough, why does Jesus reject people who believed strongly enough to perform miracles? From an Islamic perspective, this passage makes deep sense. Islam teaches that belief without obedience is incomplete. Faith is not an identity, it is a responsibility. In Islam, every individual is accountable for their own actions. No one carries the burden of another. No prophet absorbs responsibility for someone else's choices. The Quran repeatedly warns against people who claim righteousness while ignoring God's commands. People who speak God's name but follow their own desires. Islam teaches that intention, belief, and action must align. And this is exactly what Jesus emphasizes in Matthew 7. Notice something important. Jesus does not say you believed the wrong thing. He says you did not do the will of my Father. He directs attention away from himself and toward God. This aligns with other statements attributed to Jesus. The Father is greater than I. My teaching is not my own. It comes from the one who sent me. From an Islamic view, this supports pure monotheism. Worship God alone, obey His commands, live righteously. Islam does not see Matthew 7 as an attack on believers. It sees it as a warning against self-deception. The most dangerous mistake is not disbelief, it is false confidence, believing you are saved while living in contradiction to God's will. On the day of judgment, according to both Jesus' warning and Islamic teaching, titles will not matter. Religious identity will not matter. Words will not matter. Only truth will remain. Only obedience will remain. And that is the question Matthew 7 leaves behind. Not what did you say, not what did you claim, but did you truly do the will of God?